Greetings, everyone. My name is Luis Molina, and I'm the host of the Life Puro. Today, I have Mike Consiglio here in the studio, who is a longtime shop friend and big-time cigar smoker. So we want to thank him for joining us today. And with that, Mike, what's going on?
Nothing much, man. Can't call it. What are you doing, man?
Oh, man.
What you been up to?
My brother's been in town. Carlos, I don't think you've ever met him.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it one day.
Yeah, he's been in town for a few weeks now, so been hanging out with him and the family because they live in Australia.
Yeah, I love to pick like expats' brains. You know what I mean? I like to know what they're thinking and how they see things and stuff. You know, like you live in this country. There's so many people that come here, but you don't know too many Americans. Me personally, I don't know too many Americans that live abroad. So those stories are always kind of like real cool. You know?
Yeah. What are some questions you'd like to ask them?
I don't know, like if people look at you different, like that's the biggest one. Like how do you think people perceive you there? You know,
Yeah.
there's not a whole lot of people like Americans around the world. You know.
Yeah, but no, I mean, he's been living there for a few years, and his kids love coming to America. So I think they said they'd rather prefer living here. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
So, but anyway, before we get into it, well, thanks for coming in. Appreciate you taking the time and sitting down with us. So we offer our guests, some cigars. So whichever one you want to get into. Well, I got La Flor Dominicana, the Reserva Especial, and one of our newest Serie Españas, which is the Cordoba.
I love y'all's personal blends. So let's give this one a shot first because I haven't tried this one yet.
You haven't? You haven't tried the Cordoba?
Maybe I did. I know that I like the Barcelona a lot and the Madrid a lot.
Okay.
But I don't know if I've tried this one. But if it's anything like those other ones, it's going to be fantastic.
Yeah. So this is, if you haven't had this one, this is one of our newest Serie Españas. It is called the Cordoba, which is a 5x50 Robusto, and it has an Ecuador, Connecticut wrapper. So that's what's different. Whereas the Barcelona had Ecuador Corojo and the Madrid had a San Andres Maduro. So, yep, we got lighters.
After you, man. Oh, you got a big lighter.
No, whichever one you want.
No, I was just saying after you. I thought there was one. I thought that was a speaker or something, man.
Yeah, no, it's a tabletop. You haven't seen that?
No, I haven't seen that. That's pretty cool, man.
Yeah, from Colibri.
Well,
nice little tabletop.
Nice little product placement right there, huh?
Well, we like it. Yeah. But it is. And I'm gonna light up with just the old school match method.
I like mine hot. People like, why you smoke them that hot? It's just personal preference, you know?
Oh, when choosing the lighter, you like the torch?
No, I'm saying like I like to smoke cigars a little more hot, like a lot more lit up than a lot of people.
Oh, okay.
Like, you know what I'm talking about? Like, how do you explain that? Like, I torch the hell out of them and I get them really lit.
Okay.
Because I like to keep it going. For me, the worst thing is when they go out. Like, I know there's nothing to it to relight it, but I just hate them going out, you know?
Yeah, so that's, I think I was talking about that with our last guest about, I guess, the priorities or what people like in a cigar. Or maybe I was talking about that with a client in the store. But some people focus more on like the flavor of a cigar as like their driving choice for choosing a cigar. Some people like the construction, but you like the burn, huh?
I like the burn and I like the aroma. I grew up, my family members were cigar smokers. So what got me into smoking was the smell, the nostalgia, you know, riding in the truck with my dad when I was little or going to my grandma's house.
Yeah.
Or my favorite uncle who passed away a couple weeks ago on my dad's side. He's my favorite. He was like everything to me on my dad's side of the family. And he smoked too. But I tried his cigars.
What were they?
They smell good, but they taste like ass. I'm sorry, Perotti. But they smell fantastic. But
yeah.
Man.
Yeah, those what they call dry cured cigars. They're also known as cheroots. They're made to look rough on purpose.
They look like a tree limb.
Yeah. No, yeah, they're cured differently, and In fact, we don't even have to humidify them. Like, they don't have to be humidified, just the way they've been processed.
I used to buy the 5-pack of them. They were called the Kings, I think.
The Perotti Kings.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but I tried, but no. So that was always the thing. But what I remember when I was little is my grandpa used to smoke Phillies.
Okay.
But the Phillies were like, they weren't like the Phillies that there are now.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I guess when I was little, like back in the 80s, that shows you how old I am. I remember them looking different than if you go to a gas station and buy a Philly. A Philly now looks like construction paper.
Yeah.
No,
they used to be, I guess, a little higher quality machine-made cigar. And then before that, they were a handmade cigar at one point. I think I told you, we actually had a box of Phillies from, I think it was from the 50s or 40s when we did vintage cigars. So we had them. Well, so I mean, it was an old school brand, but yeah, to your point, over the time, it became more of a really cheap machine made, and it's not the same as what it once was.
Well, my dad used to smoke. My dad was one of those victims of the cigar boom, like in the 90s. You know, like I remember we used to go like, things were different back then. There was more mom and pop stores and stuff. And down
now, where'd you grow up?
Youngstown, Ohio. Okay. And then we moved to a suburb later on. And in that suburb called Struthers, they used to have this place. It was a newsstand. It was a literal newsstand. Like, it sold magazines, newspapers, like I don't know. That's media is digital, huh? Or media I don't know. I don't know what it's called, but it sold all those print type things.
Okay.
And then in the front, they had candy and chips and all that. And then they had a whole like humidor type. Like, it was like how y'all have the glass case and it had shelves and it had cigars in there. My dad used to go in there and buy them. And I used to love the smell, man. You know what I mean? And that I'm kind of digressing, but that's what got me into it. Was missing that smell. All those people that passed away. Mm-hmm. Sometimes I feel like the cigar brings me back to those times, to those people. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. That was a common way of how cigars were sold in this country. A lot of newspaper stands would carry, because there was one just like that in Metairie when I grew up, and I forgot the name of it. It was next to where Morning Call moved, and they would sell the cigars there too. But it was like one of those old school newspaper stands, and actually they had pretty good selection. It seemed like they had a lot of international papers and other like that.
I sent you a documentary. I know you've been busy. I don't think you've seen it, but it was actually about drugstores and how pipes and pipe tobacco was always sold in drugstores, and how it was just part of the culture back in like the 40s, 50s, and 60s.
Yeah. Wow.
And what's crazy is like pipes got so expensive, man. I don't know what happened. Like, back, they were talking about the price, and even with inflation and markup and all that, like, and y'all might want to fact check this. Y'all have a computer, but they had brands called like Dr. Garbo and stuff like that.
Graybo.
Graybo. Yeah. And they were like nothing. Mm-hmm. Like prices on pipes were nothing.
Yeah. What, are those expensive now?
I don't even know if they sell those now.
Yeah, they still do. Yeah, but it's not, you don't really see pipes being sold like that anymore.
Yeah, well, like what the documentary, and I'm sure the documentary was someone's opinion. Most documentaries are someone's opinion, but he made it sound like, $100, $200 pipe that we pay now, which would have been like 20 back then or 15 back then. Like, those were almost non-existent. Like, nobody could even afford those.
Yeah.
It's like, it seems like pipes became a luxury item later on down the road. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Does that make sense?
Yeah, I don't know too much of like the pipe history in this country. Not as much as like cigars, but I know at one point pipe smoking was a bigger, I guess, a bigger hobby back then. Because I do remember hearing from older reps that like during the 80s, that was definitely like the dark ages for cigars, but a lot of people were smoking more pipe tobacco. So if you ever go to the old tinder boxes, they would always stress like the pipe side of it too.
Yeah.
But then like it kind of flipped in the 90s where everything was cigar, then pipe smoking just kind of declined.
I like all of it, man. I mean, cigars is obviously the way to go for me, but I
Mm-hmm.
don't mind the pipe at all. I've been experimenting with it lately.
Yeah, I know you've been telling me that you've been smoking more to trying different pipe tobacco blends here.
It's like if you don't like it, you can get through it. It's you know what I mean? Like it's not
Yeah.
like oh man, I just paid $15 for this cigar and it smells weird, but I paid $15 for it. I gotta get through it. You know, it's like the price is cheap. You put it in the bowl. You try your best to finish the bowl. You don't like it, you dump it out. You pass the tobacco on, and you know it's not the end of the world. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I don't think at this point in my life or ever that I'll be able to just not smoke cigars. Like this is the perfect way for me to uh consume tobacco. It's
Yeah.
just I'm in love with it.
Well, that's why I'm glad you're here because you're one of like those customers that really loves cigars, almost like I don't know, more than a passion, almost like your religion, you know.
Yeah.
So you said that you started basically influenced by your family members back home in Ohio.
Mm-hmm.
And when did you have your first cigar? Do you remember?
I remember like when I turned 18, I was like buying shit or I'm sorry, excuse me. I'm buying stuff
You can curse.
from like Walgreens and gas stations, and it just wasn't doing it for me. The closest thing from a gas station that did it for me was called an Anthony and Cleopatra.
Oh yeah.
You know, and it just wasn't enough. So, like a year of smoking those things and just trying to get through them and all that, I was like, you know what? I'm gonna go to a real cigar store. So they had one that closed down called Hemingway's, and I think the first one I got was a Arturo Fuente curly head because I
Okay.
was, you know, you're young, you don't got a lot of money, and I was like, okay, this is 10 times better than the gas station cigar, but I know it can get better. So then after that, I bought some punches and some Rocky Patels, and I never looked back.
Yeah.
And now I smoke anything that I can from this shop.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Oh yeah, and you're the type too that's willing to try a new cigar that we bring in, or you're not just settled on one.
well, I gotta hand it to y'all for this. Y'all, I've been to cigar shops all over the country, and hands down, and I'm not saying this because you're my friend. I'm saying this sincerely. Y'all have the best selection. Y'all don't sell anything that's garbage in here, except maybe them Odysseys. Sorry, Odyssey, but y'all don't sell anything that's garbage in here.
Yeah.
Yo, there's nothing you've ever sold. There's been a few things that have been hit and miss, but they weren't even bad.
Right.
They just weren't my preference. Y'all have never sold me anything that's been garbage. Never.
Well, we try to bring in, cigars for our clients. So even if we don't like it, that's fine. As long as someone wants to buy it, we'll stock it. But what are some of your favorite cigars that you've been smoking recently?
So recently, and I don't know, palates evolve, huh?
Yeah, I think they do.
Because when I first started smoking La Flor Dominicana, I didn't really like them, and it's like now that's what I've mostly been smoking. A lot of those, a lot of Utman. Perdomo's been in my rotation since the beginning. I don't. There's nothing but good things to say about Perdomo. I like La Galera a lot. Anything. I like everything, man. Like there's not really too many things I don't like, honestly.
Yeah.
I mean, think about it. You've seen what I buy.
But I think there's something about changing palates because when I was in my 20s, I would try to buy or smoke a lot of really full-bodied or just like strong cigars.
Well, that's a young man's mentality.
Right.
You know, I used to try to drink a fifth of wild turkey on a Friday night when I was young. You know, that's like a young man's mentality. I did it like right off the bat when I first started smoking, trying to find like triple Maduros and stuff like that. I did it too. But,
the old Camachos.
Yeah. Oh man.
Yeah, you were one that used to love smoking the old Camachos.
Oh man. Dude, there's so many blends that have like went away that I used to love.
Yeah.
Like,
well, Camachos is still in existence. It's just owned by
not
Dab.
the same. And then Rocky Patel had the Indian tobacco.
Oh yeah, that's one of your all-time favorites.
The Cameroon legend. I still dream about that. Hey, anybody out here watching this, and you have some Indian tobacco Cameroon legend, let me know. I'll pay for them. I don't
Yeah.
have no problem. They had a couple of Taranos I liked that I don't see anymore.
Oh yeah.
They had one, I think it was called Jalapa. It was like all Jalapa Valley.
Yeah, it was something like that. Because we
Yeah,
used to carry Tarano.
yeah, man. They had a bunch of stuff, man. That was just fantastic. That just they're gone, man. They used to have this one. I think it was from the Foundry. I'm not sure, and it had diamonds on the band. Like they were elements,
Oh yeah, yeah, the elements.
and it was called
We
Carbon or
yeah,
something
we
like
had
that.
one called Carbon. Yeah.
Yeah, and then they had one with diamonds. Or that might have been the same one.
Yeah, it might have been part of that because of the carbon element. Yeah, that was a good line too.
Yeah, man. It's like they I've had that happen a million times since I've been smoking, man. Like I'll come across something that I'm absolutely in love with and then they'll just get rid of it.
Yeah, so like with a lot of customers who I find maybe are drawn to like one particular cigar, I'll try to advise them that kind of point or convey to them that look, just because you like it now, don't expect it to be in existence forever. Sometimes they cancel it, or discontinue a line for
Don't I
whatever
know?
reason.
Don't I know?
Yeah.
So much heartbreak, man.
Yeah, I know. I hate it when we get announced like a certain cigar that goes away, that especially when we have a big following of that cigar. That sucks. Um but yeah, going back to like taste changing, like I said, I used to smoke a lot of full bodied cigars, but now like over the last few years, I guess I want something more refined, smooth. Doesn't have to even be strong, just a lot of nice flavor.
I got a Connecticut in the morning thing.
Okay.
Like that's my thing in the morning is a Connecticut and some black coffee outside on a cool morning. Like it just don't
Yeah.
get better than that. That's best way to start the day.
And now that fall is upon us, finally, it seems, huh?
Yeah, I can't.
This is
I'm
your favorite time of
excited.
year?
Yeah, I like. It's just it's. I think it might not be that it's fall. It's just a break from the heat. You know what I mean? Just like the heat finally goes away.
Yeah.
You know,
How was that in your business this past summer?
fall is usually when we slow down.
Okay.
But yeah, business is business, man. Business goes up, it goes down, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
I've been cutting trees my whole adult life, pretty much. So
Yeah, I was gonna ask what your profession is.
yeah, I'm an arborist. I cut trees, trim trees, make them beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I started out cutting trees for energy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I love those stories that you tell me
Oh
about.
man. I might get your podcast banned if I tell
No,
you
you don't have to
something.
disclose anything you don't want, but yeah, it's just those stories that you would tell me when you still work.
Well, the thing is,
Why
man.
are they so funny? Like what's
Okay, so
and again, you don't have to give details, but like
I'm not really worried, but I'm gonna air out the industry, man. I'm gonna air out the
there's
electric company contractors business. What it is, man, is we used to cut trees. I worked for all the major companies: Asplin, Nelson, ABC, Townsend, and these are all contractors from the electrical companies to cut the trees and keep them away from the power lines, so
right.
they don't damage power lines in a storm or burn or whatever. But like these tree companies, they hire anybody. Like, dude, they hire illegal immigrants, dropouts, drug addicts, felons. Like, dude, we had a guy just got out of Angola for murder on our
Whoa.
crew one time. Yeah. And I told the boss, I'm
And
like,
why is that? Like enlighten me, but the naive person, why does
because
that
you gotta
industry
be
attract?
crazy to go up near a power line
Yeah.
and cut a tree away from a power line.
Yeah,
Like,
it's really dangerous.
Yeah. But I asked the boss, I said, how the hell do we have a murderer on our crew? He's like, well, we'll pretty much hire anyone as long as they're not a sex offender because we work by schools.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Whoa.
So that kind of shows you the elements, and the worst part is I was out there with them. Like that's my fault. You know what I mean? Like I learned a trade by
Yeah.
cutting trees. I learned a skill. I opened my own business, but I did years along
Yeah.
with all them crazy people, man. Like I got all kinds of stories, man. Like
But yeah, no, but to bring up like that point of you having worked for someone else, and it was probably, a dirty job, but you learn a skill or a trade that you then can take on your own, create your own business, be your own boss,
Yeah.
and profit from that. So I think a lot of people have done that. I mean, that was certainly part of our story. We used to work for other cigar shops and entities, and before we opened this chain up. But no, that's what I was asking. How did this past summer's heat affect your industry or the trees? You
I don't
said something to me the other day that was kind of interesting about that.
well, I don't think we'll know until the springtime. But with the drought and all of that, there's already a lot of dead trees out there.
Man.
You can already look at them and tell they're dead. And people really ain't gonna pay any attention until they're supposed to. It happens every year when trees die.
Uh huh.
When spring comes and everything starts budding again, then they call you and they're like, "Hey, think this tree's dead," you know.
Wow.
So I think that this drought is gonna actually help business a lot, but I don't really want to get political, but I don't think it's gonna be how it was for a while.
Hmm.
You know, I
Yeah, I've always.
economical and political and yeah, let's not go there.
Yeah. No, that's fine. But no, I just hearing your stories about. I mean, it's it sounds kind of morbid, I guess, but like you profit from when there's disaster. But I mean, you got to help
Man, I
offer
had
those
my best
services.
year during Ida, man.
Yeah. How was that?
Oh man, you seen me come in here and spend the money I spent after Ida.
Yeah.
It's money to burn, literally.
So you go mostly for residential contracts. Is there a difference?
There's a difference. Commercial, I do it. It's just a pain in the ass.
Hmm.
Commercial, have you give me this paper, give me this license, give me this insurance, give me this employee's information. Is your vehicle insured? They throw you through a million loops. They want the job done. They want it done cheap. Commercial always wants the job done cheap,
Yeah.
and then they take weeks to pay you. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
you deal with the guy who's an average blue collar guy like you. He knows that what your work is worth,
Hmm.
and he pays you what it's worth generally, and he pays you on the spot. You know,
So how does that work when someone's looking to hire your services? They'll give you a call. You
I go
come out
out
to
and
the site,
give him an estimate.
and how do you base the price on each job?
Each job is as different as a fingerprint. You know, you might have a tree that's out in the back of 10 acres that you can just cut down and drag out and haul off. You might have,
It's
that's
like a
cheaper.
simple
Yeah.
job.
Or you have someone, hey, leave all this stuff here. I'm going to burn it. That's simple too. But then you have some jobs where you got a tree over 3 neighbors' roofs in the backyard
man.
with a tiny gate. And you have to improvise and think about how you're going to get that out of that tiny gate. Those tend to cost a little more and they're a little more complicated. Sometimes you got to rent a crane.
Yeah.
You got to have equipment. You got to, it's a mess, man.
Yeah. How long have you been doing it?
Since I was like 18 or 19,
Okay.
and I'm pushing 40.
Yeah.
So
So you got a lot of experience. So you've seen a lot of. It's a dangerous job, huh? Because I mean, before I met you, I didn't really think anything of that service, but
to me, what I was doing before with the utility company was more dangerous than what I'm doing now. It's not
what?
don't get me wrong, but when you're taking a tree down between a power line and a house as compared to taking a tree down just by a house, it gets rid of some of that dangerous element. It's still dangerous. It's still a
Yeah.
job you can lose your life any day on.
Yeah.
But it gets rid of some of that danger, with the power lines not being involved.
Yeah.
You know.
Have you seen some bad accidents?
Oh man, I seen a cool accident.
What's that?
Like, so when you're cutting for the power company, they get these private tree assist orders where a private tree company is going to take a tree down, but they're not allowed to get anything that's near the power line. So your crew has to go out and cut the stuff away from the power line so everything's free of the power line so the private tree company can come take the tree down.
Okay.
Well, we came to work one day and the crew leader was pissed off for some reason. I don't know if he got in a fight with this old lady.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I don't know. He was just pissed off, And I was kind of like leading everything on the ground because everyone was younger than me and new. And there was this limb. This tree was so big, man. I'll never forget this tree. I think we were in Terra, which is kind of close here, but I don't remember exactly where we were. But I remember this tree was so huge that each one of the limbs are like was like a tree itself. So when you have a limb like that, you're supposed to take it in like 3 or 4 pieces. Well, he tied the limb off, and we're down at the bottom, and we're trying to wrap it around the tree to get a bite so we can hold it. And we didn't know he cut the whole fucking limb off, like the whole limb. So, well, and he didn't even care. Like he didn't ask me, "Hey, are you done wrapping the tree?" He just started cutting. Well, there was like 6 of us holding the rope. We all grabbed the rope because we weren't done wrapping it, and it lifted us off the ground when it came down. And they had like this guy Cornelius. He was like 600 pounds. He was like 4 of me, bro.
Yeah.
And it lifted him off the ground. At that point, the rope just got away from us, and the whole limb come down. It tore all the primary lines down, the cross arms down, and fell down on open wire secondaries. And the secondary line started shooting fireballs and all that. And the transformer just goes boom, and everything got quiet. And then you start hearing Generacs kick on and stuff. Yeah, it was nuts, man. The Entergy man, who I love and respect, and I'm not gonna say his name on here, but I love and respect this guy. He's the nicest human being ever. And I have never heard him say one bad word. He came and cursed us up and down, man.
Wow.
Like, we really made him that mad. Like, I mean, we probably caused so much damage. Like, you know,
Yeah.
like,
Man.
and I've got stories all about that stuff, man. Just,
yeah.
I'm not involved in that industry anymore. So,
yeah.
You know, I can.
Yeah. So, I mean, well, you have your own service and you love your cigars. I mean, what else? I know you've been dabbling in another hobby of yours.
I've been making music and just doing it as a hobby. It kind of is doing all right, but I'm doing it as a hobby. You know,
Yeah.
it's nothing. I'm not trying to make a career out of it, especially at this age of my life. You know.
Yeah, just trying to fulfill just some interest or hobby, huh? Make it a hobby. So how's that been going?
It's all right.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's all right. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, I guess you got to get started early on like music career.
Yeah, man. I just do it just to do it. I do a bunch of different things. I try to play the guitar. Everything I invent sounds Black Sabbath-esque.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm kind of close-minded when it comes to that, I guess, unintentionally.
Yeah.
So what do you think? What do you think the duck season is gonna be like this year, man?
I don't know. Our last guest actually was with Delta Waterfowl, and the numbers weren't too good, like for the production over the summer because of the drought too. So I don't know. I don't think it'll be any better than last year.
Well, I got an awesome deer spot this year.
Oh yeah, I was gonna ask you about your hunting because you're the one who actually got me into hunting.
Yeah, it's too bad you couldn't have got a better teacher at the beginning though.
Yeah.
I was just learning myself, you know.
Yeah.
But no, I got a good spot. It's on a body of water.
Okay.
You know, I'm not really gonna, you know how that goes.
Oh yeah.
But
don't want to give away the area or the secrets. Mm-hmm.
No, man. But
it's private land though.
Yeah, it's private land.
Yeah.
But I think it's gonna turn out good. I hope it's gonna turn out good.
Okay.
You know.
Did you hear that they're trying to open up a bear season?
You know, bro, I hunt, but I am kind of weird about bears and lions and tigers and giraffes. Like, you can't eat those. That's just, I think, guys with small penis syndrome wanting to like kill trophy animals. Like, yeah, if there's a deer that's got a huge rack and he's in front of me, yeah, I'm gonna shoot him, obviously. But like, what the fuck am I gonna do with a giraffe or a bear? Come on, man. We got low bear numbers. Why are you gonna go and kill the bears?
Well, no, I think the reason they're opening up a season is because the numbers are maybe too high. It's not gonna be like a free for all either. I think they're talking about it, doing like a lottery system for finite amount of tags.
These animals are way below their pre-U.S. colonization numbers. If you want to be honest, and I don't want to sound like a hippie, this is their land. You know what I mean? We're encroaching on their land.
Yeah, fair enough.
You know, that's my opinion. Everybody has an opinion.
Yeah.
You know, like, what are you going to do with the bear? I heard the meat is disgusting. What are you going to do, man? You going to make a rug and put it in front of your fireplace. Like,
Yeah. I guess at some point, a lot of those are just trophy animals.
yeah, man, that doesn't make me feel more like a man because I went and killed an animal and conquered it and put it in my house.
Yeah.
Like I said, don't get me wrong. If there's a deer with huge horns, I'm gonna lay him down. You know what I mean?
But you're also getting the meat too.
That's the thing. See, my thing
you like
is
it more for just harvesting the meat.
the meat and survival skills.
Yeah.
It's gonna sound crazy, but you never know when something's gonna happen. The world is moving more and more towards chaos every day. You see it everywhere. Even if you don't pay attention to the news, you still see just in everyday life that the world is moving closer and closer towards chaos. It's good to have survival skills.
Yeah.
You know? So I do it obviously for the meat and the survival skills is the reason I do it. I'm not out there trying to put a lion over my fireplace. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's not just for the looks or the fashion.
No, man, no, not at all.
You're looking at it from a practical standpoint.
Very practical standpoint. We've made some cool stuff out of deer.
Yeah, I was gonna ask, like, what's your favorite way to eat deer, or what's your favorite cut?
I like getting sausage and hamburgers, man. Like everyone's like, oh, backstrap, loin, this, that. Like that don't do it for me.
Yeah,
you know, I like to grind it up, season it, put it in casings, put it on a hamburger. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but you mix it with other protein, right? Or no?
I've been trying to move away from the pork, and it's not anything religious or spiritual. It's just pork is kind of foul. Makes me not feel so well, you know.
Really?
Yeah, like
you get sick from it.
Like okay, so I could eat like pepperoni or boudin, like processed stuff, and it don't bother me.
Okay.
But if I go eat a pork chop, like I'm gonna shit my guts out for a week. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like I don't. It just doesn't agree with me. So I try to not eat so much pork, and I found, and people think this is crazy, but if you put eggs and olive oil in there in the meat, and then you grind it again, it gives you the texture like there's pork in it.
Oh wow!
Like you grind
just
it, you mix that in there, and then you grind it again. It go right in the casing, man.
Because I know like a good meatloaf recipe will call for an egg. I wonder if it's something like that.
I mean, I think the egg is just like the KY jelly of foods. You know what I mean? Like, yeah.
Huh. So that's your favorite way to have deer?
Yeah.
Not the rich and hoity-toity cuts like backstrap.
No, man. No, that don't do it for me. Like it's good. Don't get me wrong, but I like something I could just cook in the morning with some eggs. I got an awesome. What's not even my recipe. It's kind of go buy the breakfast sausage box from Academy and then throw a little bit of my own stuff in there. Make breakfast links,
What makes it a breakfast link or sausage?
I don't know, man. It just
particular seasoning.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just a seasoning. Like think about it. Like you go and you get you like some andouille or something, and then you get you some breakfast sausage. It's like day and night. It's like not even the same thing to me.
Yeah, it's got to be the particular seasoning. Maybe they use more brown sugar.
Probably.
Yeah. I love that food though.
Yeah, man. But it's better when it's made out of deer.
Yeah. Oh man. So yeah, hopefully you'll get one this year.
Yeah, that's all I want. I'm not greedy. I just want one. There's been some years where I didn't get any. I just want one. I got people like, I'm going to fill my tags this year. I'm like, nah, I just want one.
Yeah. Man, speaking of which, just driving from here to New Orleans on the interstate, I've seen a lot more deer at night.
Really?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Well, with the drought, they're trying to find places where there's water. And like once you get south of like Laplace, everything's water. Or even if you get south of Gonzales, everything's water.
Yeah.
So that's probably what they're doing. See, I'm lucky where I'm gonna hunt this year is like full of like a major it's a major waterway.
Yeah.
So
yeah, that's why they say hunting by rivers is pretty good, huh?
Yeah, it's infinite water,
Yeah, it's like their highway.
I'm wondering if they're gonna be all in there this year because of all that water, being one of the only places where there's water.
Yeah.
Is
that body of water you're talking about pretty good, or is it like dried out considerably? Or?
I mean, it's lower than it normally is, but it's still
there's still water.
Yeah, it's still there.
So that should be good to attract some of that deer, huh?
I'm hoping.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm hoping. Like I said, I just want one this year. I don't need
Mhm.
three, 2, 3. I don't need nothing like
But going back to your point about survival skills, that's pretty pertinent. Um, I mean, we don't, I guess as Americans, we don't really think about that, like like bad times or chaos. I guess that's why there's just like this interest in zombie movies or like the apocalypse movies.
that. Mm-hmm.
Not so much the monsters, but how like people behave in colonies or in
But if you
groups.
watch a lot of those things, the people end up being worse than the actual monster.
Right.
You know,
Yeah.
that's like everyone's always like, "Oh man, the government this, the government that." No, man, when the shit hits the fan, you have to worry about the guy down the street from you, knowing that you have something and you have a child, and he doesn't want to watch his child starve, so he'll be
Right.
capable of killing you to take what you have. That's my mentality.
Yeah.
It's kind of like, yeah. So it's an ugly thing to think about, but you have to think about them kind of things.
Hmm.
It's happened all over the world. I watch a lot of like, World War II and Vietnam documentaries and stuff. Think about that, man. Like the whole world has had their apocalypse except the United States. Well, we had the Civil War, but that was more spread out. Think about it. Europe, like Japan and all that, they had their apocalypse. Think about the Vietnamese had their apocalypse,
Yeah.
but we haven't.
Hmm.
The apocalypse, like everyone's like the apocalypse. In my mind, it doesn't mean the book of Revelations in the end.
Yeah.
It means,
Some cataclysmic
yeah,
event.
yeah. Think about it, man. France and England and just pretty much Germany. I mean, think about it, dude. What's more, the book of Revelation than the Holocaust? You know what I'm saying? But the
Yeah.
world keeps going. The world keeps progressing. The world moves away from those things. But these places have had their Holocaust and they have these ideas and these mentalities. I have friends in Poland I make music with that have those kind of mentalities, these survival skills and stuff. Here in the United States, we lack that because we've never suffered. But I mean, you can't go on without suffering forever. You know what I
Hmm.
mean? So you got to prepare yourself mentally, physically, and spiritually for these kind of things.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. That's why I felt like even knowing a skill like shooting a rifle or handling a handgun also has practical purposes, like not just self defense,
No, but if
but
you have
like
to hunt,
hunting. Yeah. Hmm.
or you get lost and you need to let people know where you're at, there's a
Yeah.
million uses for it. Everything that you do, raising chickens. I
Hmm.
did it before. I know you're doing it now. I ain't those are those are bargaining chips or bargaining tools in the end, or survive a means of survival in the end, you know?
So you got a bug out plan, huh?
Yeah, kinda,
Kind of. Yeah.
but I'm not gonna really talk about it on air.
Yeah.
But
You can't talk about that. Yeah.
yeah, but there's
Or at
gonna
least
be,
some contingency plan, right?
yeah. I
But
mean, and
people in Louisiana should be a little more sympathetic to that because of events like Ida. Remember when the electricity was out and people couldn't get gas?
I'm always watching the weather. I'm like an amateur meteorologist. I have a passion for it. So I prepare accordingly every year.
Yeah.
Like this is supposed to be a colder and wetter winter than average. I don't see it right now, but that's what the prediction is. You go get you some firewood in case you get an ice storm
Yeah.
and your power goes out. You just small things like that. Go fill up some gas to keep your generator going.
Yeah. Yeah. No, it's not really all that. I don't know. I guess there's some people when they hear about this kind of talk, they kind of roll their eyes over. But
Like I
again,
said,
I mean, I think people from Southeast Louisiana have a different view because we've had
oh
some deal
man,
with some hardship with previous hurricanes and all.
oh man, hurricanes, ice storms.
Hmm.
Ice, man, ice is crazy because like ice isn't supposed to be here. Me working in the tree industry, if you're not from Louisiana or you're not familiar with it, like ice destroys trees here. Trees aren't supposed to be frozen over here. And when they freeze, they break.
Oh
And that
man.
knocks out power lines, that destroys homes. You know what I
So
mean?
obviously you see more business during that time, huh? After an ice storm?
Yeah, that last one I did pretty good,
Oh man.
you know, after that last one. And I don't, it's just like, here in Louisiana, like think about it. This drought, like people are worried about the river coming up. I don't know if they've done something about that yet. I guess they're doing
Oh, that
something.
saltwater intrusion? Yeah.
Yeah, and people they always wait till the end and then they panic buy. Like I always stock up water. I always have water. Usually I have water that lasts me 3 or 4 months. Every,
Yeah.
I go to replenish some of my supply, man, and it's gone. It's like I don't understand that whole panic buying. Like just be prepared. Like during COVID, man, I ran out of toilet paper, bro.
Yeah, the toilet paper.
Yeah,
shortage.
man. Like how many shits do you think you're gonna take, man? Like
Yeah, it was such a bizarre thing to have gone out of stock.
toilet paper.
But
like,
really, I mean,
they
people
probably
really care
thought
about
that it was gonna give them diarrhea or something,
Yeah.
I mean, nobody likes a bad case of the trots, man. What they call them, the frappayés. Don't nobody want that.
No, but no, that was like the first thing that everyone bought.
First thing I bought was guns.
Yeah.
Like,
are you confident you could survive at least like the apocalypse scenario?
Shit, no.
No,
No, man. My daughter's 8 and she's so loud and she whines and cries about everything, dude. We'll be the first ones to get caught or shot.
Oh, come on.
Yeah, man. Like she's gonna do us in. Man. She's so loud. Like you gotta think she's Italian and Hispanic.
Yeah.
So she's just loud automatically, but she's such like a drama queen and she's gonna get us caught.
Speaking of which, is she ready for Halloween? Does she like that holiday?
She's like me. That's our favorite holiday.
Mm-hmm.
Halloween's first, and then I'm a fat bastard, so Thanksgiving's second.
There you go.
I got my Thanksgiving tradition.
Yeah, I was gonna ask, what do you have any Italian traditions?
No, I've adapted so much down here.
Yeah, because when did you move down here? How old were you?
I was like early teenager, like 2000.
Okay.
Try not to date myself too much,
It's all right.
But no, man, like my Thanksgiving tradition, I usually come here a day or two before. And I think I don't remember if they're viaje, but they got the light meat and the dark meat.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
That
the
is
stuffed
viaje?
Turkeys, yeah. From
I
viaje.
buy one of each, and then like usually Thanksgiving morning, I go and buy it. Well, I buy it before, but Thanksgiving morning I boil peanuts all day.
Okay.
And then once the peanuts are done and everyone starts coming over, we usually fry like 2-3 turkeys, And I had one of my buddies, the biggest Honduran man that you would ever see in your life. This dude's like 6 foot something, like 350 pounds. He ate a whole turkey himself last year, dude.
Oh man.
They call him Chiquitin, which means little guy, like tiny. But he's like the biggest Honduran that ever existed, man. This dude's like a giant.
Yeah, he ate a whole turkey.
He
himself?
ate a whole fried turkey.
Oh man.
The whole thing, dude.
Wow.
Yeah, like it was the craziest thing. Like it wasn't no like giant, huge turkey.
Mm-hmm.
And it was like, you start buying 3 and 4 turkeys, you start looking for like the $15 to $20 ones instead of the $30 and $40 ones, know? But yeah, he ate a whole like $18 turkey, man.
How so you have you're the one frying the turkeys? Mm-hmm. You have a good technique? Or any tips?
I brine them. Like you get an ice chest and you make a brine.
Okay.
And you
like
soak
salt
them
and water?
overnight. Yeah. And you pull them out and you shoot them up with that Tony Sachery's heroin.
Oh yeah.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, the marinade.
Yeah, and then you fry them bitches, man.
Yeah.
It's like it's good and bad for your heart at the same time because it makes you feel happy and holiday-like, but it clogs that motherfucker up, I'm sure.
That's your favorite way to do turkey?
Oh man. Like there's nothing better than that.
Yeah.
But outside all day on the propane burner with the boiled peanuts and then the turkey,
I never had boiled peanuts. I know that's a big thing down here.
You've lived here your whole life.
Yeah.
If I make them this weekend, which I'm thinking about, I'm going to invite you over. We'll smoke something.
Okay.
So
what does that take? You just boil them in water?
I boil them like crawfish. The exact same way you do them as crawfish. That's how I do them. Okay. Some people just use salt. Some people use just the Cajun season. Man, I put the onions. I put the lemons. I put the.
So you're basically doing a crawfish boil with peanuts.
Yeah, but they take like all day though.
So how is that? Like, do you have to shell them, or you throw the whole peanut in, or what?
Yeah, you just take the whole
the
whole sack of peanuts
shell?
like it's crawfish, and you dump them in there.
Even with the shell.
Yeah.
And so when you're ready to eat it, do you eat the whole thing?
No, you have to still open it.
Okay.
But they're so soft that it's like
it's easy to open.
Yeah.
And what, like the nut? Is it still like what's the texture?
Soft. Like? It's soft. It's like a bean almost.
Not to be high school joking about that. Yeah. Oh, Yeah,
But
we
yeah,
open ourselves after that. But yeah, I've just never, I don't know, never had, it just
nah,
didn't seem appetizing to me.
cooking's my passion, man. And everyone's like, why don't you do this? Why don't you do this? Like, I'd probably fucking stop liking cooking if it was a job.
Yeah.
Cause like when I was like 17 till I was like 19 before I started doing tree work, or probably 16 till I was 19, I worked in restaurants. I wanted to commit suicide every fucking day.
Why is that?
Like, so I started out in fast food and like I worked at Taco Bell.
Okay.
And on the weekends, they have you work overnight and they'd have like the world's worst fucking people.
Like consumers?
Yeah, like
okay.
everyone's always like, Waffle House has the worst people at night. Like, fuck no, dude.
Taco Bell has the worst.
Oh my God, bro. They try to fight you and shit. Like,
but you can only do interact with them through drive-through at this point, right?
yeah. But
Because
still, they'll come on there like, anybody there? You hear me, motherfucker?
What?
Like,
they'll just curse right off the bat.
yeah, like, they're drunk.
Oh,
you know, like, if I was a cop or something, I would fucking sit in front of a Taco Bell.
Yeah.
At like fucking midnight.
Yeah.
Like, you'd
just
fucking
to clock everyone. Yeah.
Yeah, but I moved from like Taco Bell to like a real restaurant. They started me out as a dishwasher, dude. You get fucking covered in slop all the time. It'd be like fucking December. It'd be like 28 degrees out. You're covered in water. You walk outside and get pneumonia.
Oh, man.
Then they moved me into, after that, which if you're the dishwasher, you're the bitch of the restaurant.
I mean, they're so needed.
Well, you wash the dishes, you clean the kitchen. I don't know if you're supposed to. I think the cook was taking advantage of me.
Wait, they're supposed to separate those jobs?
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
But
I don't know. I've never been in the industry.
Well, then they're like, you'll be sitting there washing dishes and they'll be like, hey, man, it's too busy. Go get this out of the cooler and this out of the cooler. And you're like running around. And it's like everything comes in a rush, and and it's horrible. Then they moved me up to a cook, and I got into it a couple times with other staff members just because of the stress. And I ended up, man, it's like restaurants are the worst jobs, man. Yeah. And that's why
there's so many people that seem like, oh, they'd be so like romantic to like own a restaurant.
If it's like a little hole in the wall where it's like you and like family members or something,
yeah,
and you didn't have a huge menu, you know, like maybe 4 or 5 things on the menu, that'd be cool. But when you got all these yuppies coming in Friday after work with their badass kids and all that, and everyone's all screaming and demanding, and everyone's running around, it just.
It definitely seems like so much stress.
It's like it's unnecessary. Like people. That's the thing about people in their jobs. People always like, I hate my job. I can't handle my life. My job's stressing me. Like nobody told you to do that, motherfucker. Yeah. Like this isn't a country where you got to stay doing that.
They should try out the restaurant business.
Try a restaurant. Try a tree service.
Then they'll probably be like, yeah, try a tree service.
Yeah.
Yeah. I know, man. But like all these services are needed though, you know?
Yeah, but service jobs are frustrating sometimes. Like,
yeah.
Like even like I did retail before. I worked in a clothing store one time for like a week. I worked at AutoZone for like a month. I got fired from that.
Oh man.
Yeah. You know, I don't understand a lot of these people's complexes. Like you make $1 more an hour than me and they say that you're in charge. So you're gonna act like Hitler in here, like you know what I mean? Like you making $1 more than me. You in the same shitty situation I'm in. You can probably make after tax. You probably make 60 cents more an hour than me in a day. How much is that? You know what I mean? All these things are illusions to keep people doing what they're doing. That 60 cents more an hour is gonna make you feel like your job's good and you're so important. You know what I mean? Like I'm rambling, but.
No, but I mean, just to your point of that's a stressful industry, you know, working restaurant. But some people want to glorify it and think it's, you know, a dream job.
Well, like me.
How is that cigar, by the way?
I'm enjoying it. If I didn't, I would air it out on air. Mm-hmm. You know me, man.
Well, I know you're very truthful. That's why I like your assessments of whatever cigar. But yeah, it's kind of interesting. I found that you liking La Flor Dominicana a lot the last, I guess, few years.
Yeah, I don't know what happened. I used to not like them, and then like I was visiting my brother in Ohio, And I think they had one that's called a Colorado Oscuro.
Okay. Was it the place that you showed me via the
Hmm?
video?
No, it
Yeah.
wasn't that one. It was another one in a town called Boardman.
What's the cigar scene like in that part of Ohio?
Lots of people smoking flavored and macanudos. Hey, if
Okay.
you like that, you like that. But
Yeah.
it seems like they're almost like they want an image. You know, you don't find a
So
whole.
Macanudo is still like very popular there?
Yeah, I got family members that would die with macanudo.
Yeah.
The old green band.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
The
man.
cafe. Yeah.
Yeah, that's not my.
That used to be such a huge seller. And I've noticed sales went down the years. And I think that's why they probably created the Inspirado series, just to kind of
You stay
attract
in
a
the
newer,
business, yeah.
attract a newer, younger crowd.
I will say I tried one about a couple months ago. A customer gave me a Macanudo. I think it was the brown one. The
It
I
was a
think it was the
Macanudo?
Maduro. The
Yeah,
Maduro.
yeah,
I
yeah.
think it
That
come in
was
a
it.
in a
Yep.
glass
Yeah.
tube.
I remember you, saying you like that Macanudo
Yeah, and
Maduro.
I bought a few more of them since. That was pretty nice.
Yeah.
That was pretty nice.
Have you tried the Inspirados?
I tried the Connecticut, the white band,
Okay. Yeah.
and it was pretty nice too.
Yeah, for Connecticut.
But every once a year, I'll get an itch for a flavored, and then Macanudo M's. Those are pretty nice. I
Yeah.
only like two flavored cigars. I like the Macanudo M and the Tobacco Especial.
Okay.
Other than that, I can't. I got a cousin that you know pretty well. That dude dies with them fat bottom Bettys,
Oh,
man. Yeah, man. They smell like potpourri to me, man.
Yeah, I know it's just interesting how like a cigar that you might not like, how much of a seller it can be though.
I've noticed
Or
that,
vice
man.
versa, a cigar I really like, but it doesn't sell.
Like I think it was before. I don't know if y'all still sell them. I imagine you do, but it's like a cigar that I see a lot of gentlemen in here come by, and I haven't seen it lately, but I haven't been here that much. It's like a Iron Horse or something like that. Is that what it is? It's like a Connecticut white sweet tip. I think.
Oh, the Rough Riders?
Rough Rider.
Rough Riders, yeah.
People really buy those,
Yeah.
man. And
Mhm.
to me, they're like the worst of the worst.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean?
Right. No, but that's a huge seller. It's kind of like an inexpensive or like cheaper Baccarat. Where It's like
Yeah.
a sweetened tip, but it's out of the Dominican Republic. But yeah, people love it because it's inexpensive and has that sweetness.
You know what I think is one of the greatest cigars you're selling right now?
Mm.
La Galera, man.
And that's made by La Galera. Those-
Really?
Yeah, those Rough Riders are owned by the same company.
Really?
Yeah.
Man, how does that work?
I mean, these companies know that they got to hit, every kind of preference, right? So there's the sweet market, there's the bundled market.
Yeah,
They-
man. There's so much stuff out there. I've been on H. Upman a lot lately.
Yeah,
too.
that's one of your favorite
Yeah,
brands.
like they don't make a bad cigar.
Yeah.
I have not tried one of them that's been bad.
I like that H. Upman Nicaragua. That-
Yeah, that's
you-
AJ Fernandez,
Yeah.
right? Yeah,
Mhm.
I like that a lot. I like the new barber pole they brought out.
Oh yeah. You like that one?
Yeah, I've been on a lot of my father lately too.
Yeah.
I think that the Jaime Garcia is one of the best cigars ever made, hands down. They don't get much better than that.
Yeah, I love that cigar. That was our first number one cigar when we started doing the rankings in our stores 13 years ago.
You know what else has grabbed my attention a lot? Has been Roma Craft.
Okay. They have a new one called the Quinquagenario.
How much is that going for?
Well, it's in a sampler, a 3-count sampler. It's like $39.99.
Oh, that ain't bad.
But that particular one, I think, was made for one of the co-founders' 50th birthday.
Oh wow!
Because that's what I guess Quinquagenarian is, like a person who's 50 years old.
Man, everything they make, they don't make a bad cigar.
But
either.
they co-produced that with EP Creo. So that was pretty interesting.
I talked to y'all's rep when he came in here, man. EP Korea, what are y'all doing? If y'all listening, bring the dust back.
Oh yeah, yeah. They canceled that.
Bring
one
the
too.
dust back. Y'all are crazy, man.
Yeah.
That's what I'm talking about, like earlier, man. All
Yeah.
these great cigars that are just.
So I mean, we did well with that, but apparently it wasn't good enough for like their entire sales network or area or whatever, or maybe there was a component in there that they couldn't source anymore. That happens too.
Yeah,
You know?
that was fantastic, man.
Yeah, that's a good cigar.
You know, y'all got so much good stuff here. Like, if y'all are watching this podcast and you've never been here and you're a cigar person, you need to come
Yeah,
here.
you're like our spokesman.
Hey,
I appreciate that.
it's just being honest, man. That
Yeah.
like the stuff that y'all have here, like I haven't even seen a humidor this nice anywhere. Like I've been all through New York, all through Texas, all over the country. I've been everywhere, even in Florida, where it's supposedly the cigar capital of the
Well,
country.
maybe you haven't maybe seen enough in Florida. There's a lot. There's a lot of great retailers in Florida.
Do you know what's crazy is I was there during the hurricane last year, and every cigar shop was open and accepting cash.
Oh man.
Yeah, it was awesome.
Oh, so like that was where, like near Fort Myers?
Cape Coral, Fort Myers area.
Yeah, when they had their storm go through there.
Yeah, every single cigar shop was open and they accepted cash.
So because a lot of businesses were closed back then.
Yeah, but
they were
cigar
open?
shops was
Yeah.
open, man.
Yeah, but you couldn't run credit card. You just had to pay in cash, huh?
Yeah, but anytime I go out of town, I bring cash, so I was good, man. You know.
So you've done like some storm chasing for like some of these hurricanes.
Yeah, here and there, but it's a lot of suffering, man. When you do that, you gotta sleep in the truck. There's no hotels. There's
Yeah.
no power. You gotta like find places to like take a bath. Like my buddy Alex was out there with me, and we were in Cape Coral, and we hadn't showered in days, and we were like sweating to death. And they had a Publix grocery store was open, and we went and bought some soap, and I'm hoping to find like somewhere because they cut the water off in Florida during hurricanes. I don't know why they do that. They don't do it here, but in Florida, the city cuts the water off. Maybe it's a
really?
preventative measure or something.
Yeah. Huh.
So I'm like going around checking hoses and stuff by businesses, and this dude goes out in the bayou in the middle of the night, and he's like out there with the bottle of Old Spice in the bayou. And I was like, dude, this ain't like Louisiana. Like the alligators kill people in Florida. They don't kill people in Louisiana. I think like on the record, y'all might want to look this up. There's only one case of a fatal alligator attack in the state of Louisiana that happened last year during Ida.
Oh, I remember that.
Yeah, but that was like
that was in Slidell, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But I think that was the only fatal recorded alligator attack in the whole history of this place. But in Florida, they kill people like 2 times a year, right? So I'm like, dude, like, what do you do? You're out in the bayou taking a bath. And I was like, you're crazy. And he's like, you don't know nothing. I'm like, oh, okay. Well, the next night he's out there taking a bath. He's bare ass naked in the bayou. Or I don't know what they call it in Florida. But this old lady comes out. She's like, there's a huge alligator that lives out here. I wouldn't do that if I were you. So he hurry up and finished. The next day, we rode by that spot in the morning. And, like, they have, like everybody's house is on a bulkhead on the bayou in Florida. It's not like here where you just go up to the bayou. Like, they got, like, a retaining wall and then a deck. And they had one, he had to have been every bit of 9 feet long sitting on that deck, sitting in the sun. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He ain't go back in there.
But yeah, just to follow up, that was the only recorded alligator attack in Louisiana.
Fatal alligator
or
attack.
fatal,
Yeah. They don't kill people here. They know that.
I guess we respect them too.
No, they know their dinner, man. They know that people are going to eat them here, man.
Yeah.
Think about that. You know, in
Florida, they know that they're prey.
Yeah, well, in Florida, they get fed.
Oh.
In Louisiana, they see people equal death. In Florida, people equal food. You know what I mean? So it's a whole different lifestyle. It's a whole different way of living. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because they seem to, Florida seems to get more attacks, huh?
Every year, like at least 1 or 2 people die every year in Florida.
Man.
It's like down here, we probably have the same amount, if not more.
Yeah.
And they don't bother people. Mm-hmm. They got a bad rap as an animal, man. Yeah. And they just like bullfrogs with teeth, pretty much. They get a real bad. You remember when we were out in the boat?
Yeah.
They see the boat and they take off. Like, like movies and news and everything else tries to paint them as like some horrible monsters. Like
they'll like they'll attack you or something.
Yeah, man. They ain't like that.
Yeah. Well, going back to music, I have a question. If you can only listen to 3 albums for the rest of your life, what would they be? I know that's tough because you like a lot of different genres too, huh?
I think Black Sabbath, We Sold Our Soul for Rock and Roll.
Okay.
Maybe 36 Chambers, Enter the Wu-Tang.
Okay.
And then I don't know, man. That's some real deep.
Yeah.
That's a
That's
hard
good. That's a good question.
That's
That's a Nick question. So
That's a Nick question.
and then another one. So as a business owner, what guidance could you give to somebody looking to start their own business?
Don't give up.
Yeah.
Because every single thing thrown at you in business, more so when you start and you don't know what's going on and everything's new, you have shit thrown in your face every single day and it's going to be horrible. But don't give up. Don't never give up. Don't let anybody discourage you and just do what you set out to do.
Yeah.
And if you're in the service industry, keep your customer happy. That's the thing, man. I don't know. I got all these good reviews online for my tree service. And you see these other people got all these bad ones. Like, how the fuck do you get a bad review? All you have to do is do what you say you're going to do, and that's it.
Right.
How could you fuck that up?
But you hear a lot of bad stories, though, in the contracting world, at least if you're an end consumer.
Because there's a lot of these people that try to hop in and hop out. You see it after hurricanes.
Yeah.
Guys who work in an office that got a get-rich-quick scheme that take their vacation or quit for a while. And then once all the storm work's gone, they're gone too. I see it in my business all the time.
Yeah.
You know, they ain't some guy, some asshole with the chainsaw in a pickup truck and a couple other guys shows up during a hurricane, doesn't know the first thing about cutting a tree.
Yeah.
You know, that's how those things happen. You know, guy goes on YouTube and fix some baseboards and some cabinets and he thinks he's a contractor. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
That's how that happens. If your goal is to have a real honest, legitimate business, you just do what you say you're going to do. That's all you got to do.
Yeah.
That's all you got to do.
No, it's good advice. I mean, especially like in the beginning of any business, when you're trying to create, there's going to be a lot of fires you got to put.
Few years are the worst, man.
Mm-hmm.
Like, oh my God, it's like that's the apocalypse. It's them first few years of owning a business, man.
But you had a leg up with your experience, so it was a matter of you trying to get some initial jobs.
Kind of, but like working the job and doing the business end of the job is so different. You know what I mean? Like the business end. See, a lot of these companies, like a lot of my competition, they've had family members in the business that taught them the business.
Mm-hmm.
They've had family members that showed them the business. I had nobody. Like I learned this from the ground up and I'm still learning. I still probably know 10% of the shit that I need to know.
Yeah.
But a lot of these businesses are generational or they have family members that give them the game on this kind of thing. A guy like me.
Yeah, you really had to work harder.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I'm still not where I want to be at because of that, I feel.
Yeah.
I'm not crying or complaining. Life is what life is, you know? But
yeah. Well, look, to your point, just keep going.
Don't ever stop, man.
Well, look, man, I appreciate you coming in today. We're pretty much wrapping it up. But before we go, we have one final segment called the Final Puff. It's like a 5-question rapid fire round. You up for it?
Yeah, shoot, bro.
All right, man. First one, Tabasco, Crystal, or other?
Crystals.
Favorite vacation destination?
None.
The ideal person you would want to smoke a cigar with, alive or dead?
Jesus.
Desert island cigar.
Huh?
What's your desert island cigar if you only had one cigar to smoke?
Come on, man.
No, that's a tough one.
Come on, man. Desert island cigar. One cigar, the rest of Indian Tobacco Cameroon legend.
Okay. And finally, who would you want to see on a future podcast?
Stefano.
Oh, yeah, that'd be good.
That'd be fucking crazy.
And that's your brother to give insight.
Yeah, but he's a character.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate it, man. It was awesome. We'll have to get you on again to get some more stories.
All right, man.
All right, man. Until then, we'll see you guys next time. Thanks.